Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing good and welcome to another yoga class. Today we'll be doing a flow class. We'll try to move a slightly bit faster. Nothing too crazy, but just a little bit. For some props, you might want to have a block. If you don't have a block, you can use stacked books. Maybe a chip from blocks, again, if you don't have that. That's totally fine. You can just use a towel or a blanket just to bring a bit more support for your knees if you need to. And as usual, a bottle of water. So we are going to start in a laying position, comfortably onto your back in Shavasana. And feet are about mat distance apart or wider. And just naturally letting your feet fall onto their sides. Your palms and arms are facing the skies onto your sides or slightly away. And if this position doesn't feel comfortable for your lower back or any other reasons, try to bend your knees and plant the sole of your feet mat distance apart, letting your knees fall into center tenting. Or perhaps you'd like to lay in a fetal position onto your right or left side. This is totally up to you. Remember that this is your practice. So it's important to listen to the cues of your body and to take whatever position feels the most comfortable for your body and yourself. Once you have found that perfect position, and if you are laying onto your back, slightly lift your chest up and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. And if you feel comfortable to do so, I invite you to softly close your eyes or to soften your gaze. And let's start the class by relaxing every part of our body. Starting at the top of your head, your face, your jaw, your neck and throat. Continuing with your shoulders, they're nice and relaxed. Softening them and allow them to fall heavy onto your mat. Your arms and hands are relaxed. And then relaxing the muscles of your upper back, mid-back, and lower back. Relaxing your chest, your rib cage, and your abdomen. And continuing with your glutes, hips and pelvis, your legs, and your feet. And then allowing your whole body to sink heavily into your mat. And taking a moment here to unplug from the outside world. Letting all those thoughts, expectations float around you. Contemplate them, but allow them to drift away, not holding on to them. You came to practice onto your mat today. This is the time of the day that is just for you. So really try to be present and in the moment for the next 60 minutes. trying to feel the sensation into your body versus thinking about everything else. And perhaps you would like to set an intention for your practice today. It could be a simple word like strong, love, or a positive statement. Or perhaps you would like to dedicate your practice to a loved one. Once you have chosen, please repeat it 3 times in your mind. And taking a deep inhale through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. One more deep inhale through the nose and exhaling. And slowly starting to bring your awareness back into the space of the room where you are. And slowly back into your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Perhaps circling your wrists and ankles. Maybe you'd like to bend your elbows and your knees. And if it's okay on your neck, perhaps you'd like to slowly turn your head from side to side. And then extending both of your legs long onto your mat. The sole of your feet are reaching for the front of your mat. Sweeping your hands overhead, interlacing your fingers, and give yourself a big body stretch here. Perhaps stretching onto your right side, maybe onto your left side. Perhaps yawning feels good as well. And on your next exhale, drawing both knees onto your chest, hugging them nice and tight here, and rolling from side to side or making circles with your knees. Knees can be together or knees can come wide. This is totally up to you. The sensation might change into your hips. So kind of take whatever feels the best here. Just massaging your lumbar spine or lower back. And then keeping the right knee onto your chest and extending that left leg long onto your mat. Both of your feet are flexed, toes are pointing towards the sky. On every inhale, really pushing through that left heel so it reaches the front of your mat. And on every exhale, drawing the right knee onto your chest. Now, if this feels a little bit uncomfortable, try to bend the left knee and plant the sole of your left foot onto your mat. And you can choose to stay here, or you can choose to start moving with your breath. On your inhales, drawing the right knee towards your right side, opening your hip, and on every exhale, bringing it back to center. Massaging through the inner hip crease here. And then bending the left knee and planting the sole of your left foot onto your mat if you're not already there. Bringing your right knee towards your right shoulder. Right forearm to the inside of your right shin, grabbing for your ankle or the outside edge of your right foot. And then stacking your ankle over top of your knee. With your hand pressing into your foot and foot pressed back into the hem, trying to bring your knee closer to your armpit or the mat here. If you need a bit more sensation, perhaps extending the left leg long onto your mat. Good, and then releasing your right foot and drawing both knees back onto the chest and hugging them nice and tight. Again, rolling from side to side or making circles. Just massaging your lower back once again. And this time keeping your left knee onto your chest and extending that right leg long onto your mat. Again, both of your feet are flexed, toes are pointing towards the sky. And on every inhale, really pushing through that right heel so it reaches your mat. And on every exhale, drawing the left knee just closer towards your chest. And again, if this feels uncomfortable, try to bend the right knee and plant the sole of your right foot onto your mat. Creating here a little bit more space. So as we are going to step into our sensitization or flow, creating space to step our foot in between our hands. And you can choose to stay here or you can choose to move with your breath. On every inhale, drawing the left knee towards your left side, opening your hip. And on every exhale, bring it back to center. Massaging the inner hip crease on the second side here. Good. And then bending your right knee, planting the sole of your right foot onto your mat if you're not already there. Moving your left knee towards your left shoulder. Your left forearm to the inside of your left shin, grabbing for your ankle or outside edge of your left foot. And then stacking your ankle over top of your knee. Again, pressing your fingers into your foot into your fingers. And try to draw that knee closer to your armpit or towards the mat. And if you need a bit more sensation, perhaps extending the left leg long to your mat. And again, unraveling or letting go of your foot and drawing both knees onto your chest. Hugging them nice and tight, rolling from side to side. Now 2 options for you here. You can either roll onto your right or left side and pushing yourself into a seated position, or you can start rolling up and down your spine until you come to a seated position. Once you are here, taking crossing your legs, whatever feels good, cross or uncross, but sitting up tall. On your inhale, sweeping your hands overhead. Exhaling, hands come down through heart center. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. And then right hand onto your left thigh, left hand is tenting behind you. Inhaling, lengthening your spine. Exhaling, opening your chest towards your left side. Moving to a passive twist here. And then coming back to center, inhaling, sweeping your hands overhead, and exhaling, hands come down through heart center. One more time, inhaling, and exhale. And this time, left hand onto your right thigh, right hand is tenting behind you, inhaling, lengthening your spine, Exhaling, opening your chest towards the right side. Coming back to center and either swinging your legs out to the side or rolling over top of your shins to come to a tabletop position. Now you want your wrists underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Spreading your fingers nice and wide here. On your inhale, drawing your belly towards the mat, gaze and tailbone go up. Exhaling, belly back in, running through your shoulders and your spine, gaze and tailbone down. Inhaling, dropping your belly towards the mat, gaze and tailbone up. Exhaling, belly back in, running through your shoulders and your spine, gaze and tailbone down. Good. 4 more rounds on your own breath and own pace here. And after your 4th round, coming back to a neutral spinal flat back. Bringing your knees mat distance apart, big toes to touch. Sitting back onto your heels and walking your hands towards the front of your mat. Letting your forehead rest heavily onto your mat here. I will be lifting up my head so you guys can hear me. But if your forehead doesn't quite make it onto your mat, perhaps stacking hands underneath it or fists. Or perhaps placing a block underneath your forehead or stack both. Really anything that can bring a little bit more support. Now this is a safety posture, so if at any time during your practice you need to come back to your breath or you need to take a break, this is a great posture to come back to. Also, if at any time during your practice you need to take a sip of water, I strongly recommend you to do so. So taking a deep inhale here and exhaling, let it go. Good, one more deep inhale and exhaling. Fingertips are reaching forward in front of your mat. On your next inhale, shifting your weight forward into tabletop. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Spreading your fingers nice and wide. Really engaging your core, tucking your toes, and lifting your seat up into downward facing dog. Now you can walk the dog a little bit by bringing one heel after the other onto your mat. Coming high onto the balls of your feet, bending your knees, bringing your torso closer to your thighs, and then attempting to straighten your legs here. Really feeling that you're pushing yourself away from the mat. Core is engaged, and the tailbone is trying to reach for the sky. Moving through a modified sun salutation A. On your next inhale, gaze goes to the top of your mat. Exhaling, step or walk in between your hands into a forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, back is parallel to your mat, core is engaged. Exhaling, forward folding. Inhaling, coming all the way up, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hands come down through heart center, hands onto your sides. Inhaling, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hinging at the hips and forward folding. Inhaling, halfway lift, back is parallel to your mat, core is engaged. Exhaling, forward fold. Bending your knees and planting your hands into your mat, stepping back into plank. First flow modified. Lowering your knees onto your mat and untucking your toes. Pushing your pelvis towards the mat, but core is engaged. Exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga. Elbows to 90 degrees, and then chest and belly reaches the mat at the same time. On your next inhale, pressing through the shoelace part of your feet, lifting your chest up. Really squeezing the glutes and the muscles of your lower back. Bringing your shoulder blades back together. Little to no waist into your hands. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, pressing through your hands to come back to a tabletop position, tucking your toes, and lifting your sit up into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, gaze goes to the top of your mat. Exhaling, step or walk in between your hands into a forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward folding. Inhaling, coming all the way up, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hands come down through heart center, hands onto your sides. Inhaling, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hinging at your hips and forward folding. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Bending your knees, playing your hands into your mat and stepping back into plank. Now, you can choose to stay with a modified flow, or you can start moving through a full flow. If you are coming with me, wrist underneath your shoulders, toe mount underneath your heels, everything is strong here. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga, elbows to a 90 degree, untucking your toes, inhaling, pressing through your hands to lift your chest up, upward facing dog, exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, gaze goes to the top of your mat. Exhaling, step or walk in between your hands into a forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward folding. Inhaling, coming all the way up, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hands come down through heart center. Hands onto your sides. Good. Moving through a modified sun salutation B here. Now, if you have a block, I encourage you to use your block and place it in between your inner thighs and knees to go into chair pose. If you don't have a block, that's totally okay. Bringing your feet hip distance apart or together onto your mat. Just making sure that when you are going into the posture, there's not one knee surpassing the other. They are always aligned at all times. So hands come at heart center. And on your next inhale, sitting low into a chair pose. Now really bringing your weight back into your feet by lifting your toes up if that's available to you. Engaging that core, back is as straight as possible and slightly tilting your pelvis forward. Hands can come at heart center, pressing one against the other and bringing your shoulder blades back together. Or hands can come towards the sky if no shoulders injuries. 3 breaths here. On every inhale, lengthening your spine. Every exhale, sitting just a bit lower. Good, and all together, taking an inhale and exhaling, forward folding. Removing the block if you have one. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Bending your knees, splitting your hands into your mat and stepping back into plank. Full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lifting your right leg high behind you. And exhaling, stepping that foot in between your hands. Now front knee comes over top of your ankle, and lowering that back knee onto your mat. If you need a bit more support, placing a chip from block, a block, you can pad a towel or a blanket or maybe doubling your mat. On your next inhale, lifting your chest up. Now really pressing your pelvis towards your mat, but making sure that your knee is always over top of your ankle. If your knee passes your ankle, crawl that foot further. Hands can come onto your thigh, pressing your thigh at heart center or towards the sky if no shoulders injured. 3 breaths. Inhaling, reaching for the sky. Exhaling, hands to either side of your front foot. Tucking your back toes, lifting your back knee up and stepping back into plank. Full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, lifting your left leg high behind you. Exhaling, stepping that foot in between your hands. Again, lowering your back knee onto your mat and placing support as needed. From knee over top of your ankle. Inhaling, lifting your chest up. Pressing that pelvis towards your mat. and adjusting your front foot so your knee is over top of your ankle. Hands onto your thigh, heart center, or towards the sky, totally up to you. Making sure that your hips are square towards the front of your mat. 3 breaths. Inhaling, reaching for the sky. Exhaling, hands to either side of your front foot, tightening your back toes, lifting your back knee up, and stepping back into plank. Again, full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward. Exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lifting your right leg high behind you. Exhaling, stepping that foot in between your hands. Front knee over top of your ankle. Back foot comes parallel to the short edge of your mat. And on your next inhale, lifting your chest up. Into warrior 2. Now here you want to make sure that your front foot intersects more or less the arch of your back foot. Front knee is over top of your ankle and moving more towards the pinky side of your foot. Making sure you can always see that big toe. If you can't anymore, crawl that foot further. Shoulders over top of your hips, core is engaged, arms are engaged to either side of you. Gaze can come straight forward. If it's okay on your neck, gaze can come over top of your right hand. On every inhale, lengthening your spine, and every exhale, sinking into your posture just a bit more. Good. And bring your right forearm onto your right thigh, left hand onto your left hip, opening your chest and stacking your shoulders. Making sure you can always hover that front forearm. Once your shoulders are stacked, extending your fingertips towards the sky, overhead, or maybe playing the guitar if it's not comfortable for your shoulder. But keeping that left shoulder towards the back. If you want to work onto your core, perhaps extending the right fingertips towards the front of your mat. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, coming back to warrior 2 and sinking just a bit more. Taking an inhale and straightening that front leg, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, coming back into warrior 2. Good. And flipping your front hand so your palm is facing the sky. Sweeping that hand overhead. Back hand can walk down your back leg or circle your lower back to bring more support. Inhaling, reaching for the sky. Moving into peaceful warrior here. Your ribs are trying to reach for the sky. Really using your thigh to support you. If you have lows or lunge, that's totally okay. Come back to it. 2 more breaths. Taking an inhale here. And exhale, coming back to warrior 2. Taking an inhale. And exhaling, rolling your hands to either side of your front foot, turning your back foot and stepping back into plank. Full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lifting your left leg high behind you. And exhaling, stepping that foot in between your hands. Helping in as much as needed with your left hand. Front knee over top of your ankle. Back foot comes parallel to the short edge of your mat. Inhaling, lifting your chest up for warrior 2 on the second side. Now again, front foot intersect more or less the arch of your back foot. Front knee over top of your ankle, moving more towards the pinky side of your foot. Core engaged, arm engaged. Thighs are trying to turn towards the outside here. Inhaling, lengthening your spine, and exhaling, sinking into your posture. Crawling your foot if knead it a little further. Good. And then bringing your left forearm onto your left thigh, right hand onto your right hip, opening your chest and stacking your shoulders, making sure you can hover that front forearm. And once your shoulders are stacked, extending your fingertips, right fingertips towards the sky, overhead, or playing the guitar if it feels better for your shoulders that way. Keeping that right shoulder towards the back here. And if you would like to work onto your core on this side, extending the left fingertips towards the front of your mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, using your core to come back to warrior 2 and sinking just a bit deeper. Good. And taking an inhale, straightening your front leg, fingertips towards the sky. Exhaling, moving back into your lunge and warrior 2. And then flipping your front hand so your palm faces the sky. Sweeping that hand overhead. Back hand can walk down your back leg or circle your lower back. Inhaling, reaching for the sky into peaceful warrior. Adding a baby bend back here, back bend. Perhaps you're trying to reach for the sky. 2 more breaths. Coming back into your lunge if you've lost it. Good, and all together, taking an inhale, reaching for the sky, exhale, coming back to warrior 2, taking an inhale here, and exhaling, moving your hands to either side of your front foot, turning your back foot, and stepping back into plank. Full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. We'll be staying here for the next 5 breaths. Your choice to take another flow, to stay in downward facing dog, or perhaps to take a sip of water and then coming back to downward facing dog. And let's move back to downward facing dog if you're ready. If you need a bit of more time, you're welcome to pause the video and to come back to it whenever you're ready. If you are coming with me, on your next, we are going to move into a dancing dog. So on your next inhale, lifting your right leg high behind you. Exhaling, right knee to your right elbow. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, right knee to your nose. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, right knee to left elbow. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, right knee to your nose. Inhaling, extend. And exhaling, stepping that foot to the outside edge of your right hand into gecko and lowering that back knee onto your mat and tucking your toes. So if you need more support for your back knee, placing a support blanket towel underneath it or doubling your mat. Then you want your front knee over top of your ankle, your hand inside to your foot. Pressing your pelvis towards the mat here. So a couple of options. You can stay here if that feels good for you. If you need a bit more or if you want to strengthen that back leg, tucking your toes and lifting your knee up. You can come onto one forearm, maybe both, or maybe placing a block or some type of support underneath it. We'll stay here for about 5 breaths. So perhaps taking the time here to come back to your intention if you had one, or if you have dedicated your practice to a loved one, maybe taking the time to come back to that person.
Really pressing your pelvis towards the mat here. And after your fifth breath, if you are onto your forearms, slowly coming back onto your hands, walking that front foot in between your hands, tucking your back toes, lifting your back knee up and stepping back into downward facing dog. Perhaps walking the dog a little bit. And then on your next inhale, we'll be moving through dancing dog on the second side. So lifting your left leg high behind you. And exhaling left knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhaling left knee to your nose. Inhale, extend. Exhaling left knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhaling left knee to your nose. Inhale, extend. Exhaling, stepping that left foot to the outside edge of your left hand. And then lowering your back knee onto your mat. Again, if any support needed for that back knee, placing it underneath it. And again, taking any variation that feels good for you. Perhaps knee down to feel a better stretch on your quad and hip. Perhaps taking your back toes, lifting your back knee up to strengthen your back leg. Perhaps coming onto one forearm, maybe both, or maybe onto a block or book, more support. But in any case, really pushing your pelvis towards your mat here. And we'll be staying here for again another round of 5 breaths. So perhaps this time, taking the time to send your breaths into your hips, sending kindness along the way as well. We do hold a lot of emotions into your hips, so if anything comes up, which can happen, just once again, letting it float around you and then letting it go. But sending breath into your hips here. 5 breaths. Good, and after your 5th breath, if you are onto your forearms, slowly coming back onto your hands, tucking your back toes, lifting your back knee up, and stepping straight into a plank here. Full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chattering gap. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, gaze goes to the top of your mat. Exhaling, step or walking between your hands into a forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward folding. Inhaling, coming all the way up, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, hands come down through heart center, hands onto your side, and taking a sip of water here. Good. So we'll be going back into our chair pose. So again, if you have a block, I encourage you to use it. If not, feet hip distance apart or together, but making sure that your knees are aligned at all times. And again, if you need more time before moving into our next posture, please pause the video and come back to it later, or when you're ready. But if you're coming with me, and if you have a block, placing it in between your inner thighs and knees. Hands come at heart center. And then on your next inhale, sitting low into your chair once again. Now bringing your weight again back into your heels by lifting your toes up if that's available to you. Core is engaged, back is as straight as possible, and slightly tilting your pelvis forward. Now you can choose to stay here, or if you would like to move into a twist. Bringing your torso closer to your thighs. And then hooking the left elbow to the outside edge of your right thigh. Opening your chest towards your right side. Pressing one hand against the other. Trying to stack your shoulders and pressing your elbow into your thigh into your elbow. 3 breaths. If this feels uncomfortable, bring simply your left hand onto your right thigh, right hand into your lower back and opening your chest. Good, taking an inhale here. Exhaling, coming back to center. Taking an inhale. Exhaling, forward folding. Now removing the block if you have one. Bending your knees, planting your hands into your mat and stepping the left foot towards your back of your mat and lowering your back knee onto the mat. Opening your chest and lifting your chest up. Hands come out heart center. Bring your torso once again closer to your thigh. And then hooking the left elbow onto your right thigh. Once again, pressing your hands one against the other, trying to lift up your heart towards your thumbs. You can choose to stay here, or you can tuck your back toes and lift your back knee up to strengthen that back leg. Totally up to you. 3 breaths. Taking an inhale, exhaling, coming back to center. Taking an inhale and exhaling, hands to either side of your front foot. Back foot, meets your front foot into a forward fold. Inhaling slowly, rolling your spine all the way up until your neck is the last one. Shoulders up and down. Good. And moving to the second side. So again, placing the block if you do have one. Hands come at heart center. And on your next inhale, sitting low into your chair. Bring your weight into your heels by lifting your toes up if that's available. Really engaging that core. Back is as straight as possible. And slightly tilting your pelvis forward. You can choose to stay here or move into the twist. Bringing your torso closer to your thigh, and this time hooking the right elbow to the outside edge of your left thigh. Opening your chest, pressing one hand against the other, trying to align your thumb with your heart. Pushing your elbow into your thigh, thigh into elbow, picking up your knees and making sure they're still aligned. 3 breaths. Good, and taking an inhale. Exhaling, coming back to center. Taking an inhale here. Exhaling, forward folding. Removing the block if you have one. Bending your knees, planting your hands into your mat, and stepping this time the right foot towards the back of your mat. Lowering that back knee onto the mat. Front knee over top of your ankle. Inhaling, lifting your chest up. Hands come at heart center. You can stay here or moving into the twist, bringing your torso closer to your thigh, and then hooking the right elbow to the outside edge of your left thigh. Stacking one shoulder on top of other, pressing your hands, and trying to align your heart with your thumb. You can choose to stay here, or perhaps tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee up, to strengthen your back leg. 3 breaths. Good, taking an inhale. Exhale, coming back to center. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to either side of your front foot and stepping back into plank this time. Full or modified, your choice. Shifting your weight forward, exhaling, lowering down to chaturanga down. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling, pushing back to downward facing dog. Good. On your next inhale, gaze goes to the top of your mat. Exhaling, step or walk to a seated position. And take a sip of water here. Good. If you need a bit more time, feel free to pause the video and come back to it when you're ready. If you are coming with me, extending your right leg long in front of you, sole of your foot or toes are pointing towards the sky. The left sole of your foot comes to the inside of your right thigh. Now if your left knee comes way too higher up, placing a block or stack both underneath it to bring some more support. Otherwise, if you're ready, on your inhale, reaching for the sky. Exhaling, hinging at your hips and forward folding. Now hands can come onto your shin, ankle, foot onto the mat. Avoiding any pain behind your right knee or any pulling sensation. If that is due, slightly coming back up. Otherwise, on every inhale, lengthening your spine. And on every exhale, bringing your heart just a bit closer towards your mat or towards your thigh. On every inhale, lengthening your spine. And on every exhale, bringing your chest closer to your thigh. Taking a deep inhale here. And exhaling, slowly stacking one vertebrae at a time to come all the way up. Good, I will be facing this way so you guys can see for the rest. And then crossing the left foot over top of your right thigh. You can choose to stay here if you need a bit more, bringing your right heel to your left glute. And then either hugging your left knee into your chest, opening your chest towards the left side, or if you need a bit more, placing the right elbow to the outside edge of your left thigh. And then on your inhale, lengthening your spine. And on your exhale, opening your chest towards the left side. One more time. Inhaling, lengthening your spine. Exhaling, twisting just a bit deeper. Perhaps gaze comes towards your left shoulder. Slowly coming back to center, perhaps taking a counter twist and opening your chest towards the right side. And then coming back to center. And then lengthening your left leg long onto your mat. Right sole of your foot to the inside of your left thigh. Again, foot is flexed, toes are pointing towards the sky. And same for this knee. If it's too much into the air, placing a block underneath it for more support. And when you're ready, on your inhale, reaching for the sky, lengthening your spine, and exhaling, hinging at your hips, and with a straight back, forward folding. Hands come onto your shin, ankle, foot, or onto your mat. On every inhale, lengthening your spine, and on every exhale, sinking just a bit deeper. On every inhale, lengthening your spine, every exhale, sinking just a bit more. all together, taking a deep inhale here, and exhaling, slowly stacking one vertebrae at a time to come all the way up. And then crossing the right sole of your foot over top of your left thigh. And again, if you need a bit more, bring the left heel to your right glute. Hugging that right knee into your chest, right hand is standing behind you. Or left elbow to the outside edge of your right thigh. On your inhale, lengthening your spine. And on your exhale, opening your chest towards the right side. Again, inhaling, lengthening your spine. Exhaling, trying to twist just a bit deeper. Gaze perhaps comes over top of your right shoulder. And slowly coming back to center, perhaps taking a counter twist here, opening your chest towards the left side and coming back to center. Unraveling your legs. And then bending your knees and coming more towards the front of your mat. We'll be counting down from 10 to lower onto your mat. So feet can be hip distance apart, mat distance apart, or if you want a little bit harder, perhaps legs are long and straight onto your mat. Totally up to you. Really engaging your core. Back is as straight as possible and arms are engaged in front of you. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming all the way down onto your mat. Perhaps windshield wiper your knees a couple of times beforehand. And then bring the sole of your feet together onto your mat. Letting those knees fall towards the mat here on each side into a reclined butterfly. Now again, if this feels a bit uncomfortable for your hips or too tight, perhaps making fists with your hands and placing them to the outside edge of your thighs. Or if you have blocks or books, you can place them underneath your thighs to bring more support. Otherwise, hands can come onto your belly, onto your sides, overhead, or perhaps moving your arms until you find a perfect position for them and your shoulders. We will stay here for about a minute and a half. So taking time to slow down your practice, to slow down your breath, perhaps focusing your mind on your breath here, perhaps closing your eyes if you feel comfortable, or softening your gaze. Five more deep inhales and exhales here. after your fifth breath, with the help of your hands, bring your thighs and knees back up. Perhaps walking your feet mat distance apart and slowly windshield your knees a couple of times before moving to your final Shavasana. And when you're ready to move to your final Shavasana, slowly extending one leg after the other long onto your mat. I will be sitting up to guide you guys. The feet are about mat distance apart or wider. And slowly letting your feet naturally fall onto their sides. Your palms and arms are facing the skies onto your sides or slightly away. And if this position doesn't feel comfortable for your lower back or any other reasons, try to bend your knees and plant the sole of your feet mat distance apart, letting your knees fall into center, tenting. Or perhaps you would like to lay in a fetal position onto your right or left side. Maybe if you are close to the wall, you'd like to bring your legs up the wall. This is totally up to you. Really listening to your bodies and taking the most comfortable position for you and your body. Once you have found that perfect position, and if you feel comfortable to do so, I invite you to softly close your eyes or to soften your gaze. And like at the beginning of our class, letting all your thoughts and expectations, to-do list, and anything that doesn't serve you for this moment, letting go. Letting everything floating around you. Perhaps contemplate them, but allow them to drift away. Not holding on to them. Let's try to stay in our little bubble away from the busy outside world just a bit longer. If you had an intention for your practice, and if you would like to keep that intention for the rest of your week, perhaps repeating it 3 times in your mind. Otherwise, you can simply let it go. If you have dedicated your practice to a loved one, repeating that name 3 times in your mind and then letting it go. We are going to take 3 deep breaths just to release our practice, and it's a natural release sign of the body. So taking a deep inhale through the nose and really filling that belly with air, and exhaling through the mouth. Good, one more deep inhale, filling that belly with air, and exhaling, let it go. One last time, deep inhale and filling that belly with air, and exhaling side out. And slowly letting your natural breath to come back. And to close our practice today, I invite you to do or to go through a mental scan of your body. Try to relax and release each part of it. Relaxing your toes, the top of your feet and the sole of your feet. Relaxing your ankles, your shins and your calves. Circle your knees. Relaxing your thighs and your hamstrings are softened and relaxed. Relaxing your glutes, your hips and your pelvis. Relaxing the muscles of your lower back. And your core and abdomen is softened with each breath that you take. Relaxing the muscles of your mid-back, your rib cage, and the area of your heart. Relaxing your fingers, your hands, and the palm of your hands. Relaxing your wrists, your forearms, and your elbows. Relaxing your biceps and triceps. And then relaxing your shoulders. Softening them as you allow them to fall heavy onto your mat. Relaxing the muscles of your upper back, your chest, and your neck. Softening your face. Softening your eyes and your eyelids. And deeply relaxing that space in between your eyebrows. Finally, relaxing your jaw by slightly opening your mouth. Knowing that there is absolutely no rush today. I encourage you to stay in your final Shavasana and enjoying that posture for as long as you need to or as long as you want to. But once you're ready to move out of your Shavasana and out of your practice, please do so slowly as a sign of respect towards your body and yourself. Thank you so much for stepping up onto your mat and practicing. As usual, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please leave a message below the video and I will get back to you. From the bottom of my heart, I bow to each and every one of you. Namaste.